Meditation and Spiritual Life, Swami Yatiswarananda. Association with the Wise, Chapter 9. Need for Holy Company. Association with wise and holy men is stressed in all religions and in all spiritual paths. And truly speaking, it is very essential for the spiritual growth of an aspirant. It is one of the most essential factors in the life of a beginner. In India, the company of holy men has always been eagerly sought by all those who desire spiritual progress. What are the benefits of the holy company? Regarding this, there is an important discussion in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. A devotee. Then, what is the way, sir? Master. Prayer and the company of holy men. You cannot get rid of an ailment without the help of a physician, but it is not enough to be in the company of a religious person only for a day. You should constantly seek it, for the disease has become chronic. Again, you cannot understand the pulse rightly unless you live with a physician. Moving with him constantly, you learn to distinguish between the pulse of phlegm and the pulse of bile. Devotee. What is the good of holy company? Master. It begets yearning for God. It begets love of God. Nothing whatsoever is achieved in spiritual life without yearning. By constantly living in the company of holy men, the soul becomes restless for God. There is another benefit from holy company. It helps one to cultivate discrimination between the real and the unreal. God alone is the real, that is to say, the eternal substance, and the world is unreal, that is to say, transitory. In other words, holy company fosters in us a spirit of renunciation. By living with holy men who have renounced everything, others learn the value of renunciation and acquire strength to practice it. There is a story about a Muslim saint who was one day visited by the Sultan. The emperor praised the ascetic spirit of renunciation, to which the saint replied, "My renunciation? Why? Yours is much greater. I have renounced only the world and its pleasures, whereas you have renounced God and all the heavenly pleasures." The question of right association is a very important one, closely related to what Buddha called right mindfulness, and cannot be left out of account in the practice of Vedanta. It is not a question of haughty aloofness or insensitiveness, of compassionlessness. On the contrary, it can be an act of perfect compassion, though outwardly one may not mix with certain people but just stand aside. Buddhism is a religion of compassion towards all life in spite of its exaltation of renunciation and monasticism. Fellow travelers can help one another. That is why holy company is of such great importance. There should be mutual help, mutual sympathy, because these help us in sustaining our energy and striving. We should never try to be teachers, but should act as fellow students, giving others a helping hand if we can. This is always safe. If we know how to remain within reasonable limits, then we do not become dangerous to ourselves and to others. Then egotism and superiority complex cannot sprout in us and harm us and others. "Oh mother, thou art the driver and I am the machine." This is the attitude we should adopt, and never that of superiority. Before you lead others, learn to serve them with dedication and spirit of self surrender to the Lord. Very often, without proper training, we want to lead others. We want to have the fruit without paying the proper price for it. The advantage of a small group of devotees is that in a small group there is greater uniformity of temperament, and hence all these direct instructions are applicable. It is easier to have a true spirit of sympathy without backbiting. In a small group, even if they are beginners, it is always better to have first intensive work and later on extensive work. In every country, we need a group of sincere individuals who strive for the highest ideal of perfect purity and devotion and service, who are prepared to give their all for this ideal, who are prepared to survive, who are prepared to suffer anything for its realization. We cannot convert masses to spiritual life, however, we may wish to, but we can change the lives of a few sincere people whose time for a change has come.